Welcome to Coaching Uncut, a special series on the Unstoppable Woman podcast, where I take you behind the scenes and give you a peek into the private coaching I do with my clients. All of these coaching calls have been recorded with the permission from my clients who have generously allowed me to share these with you as a way of helping more people in this world. They give you access to master level coaching and the opportunity to learn the lessons that they're learning right along with them. Please keep in mind that these recordings are not studio productions and the audio quality may be less than ideal, but the content will take you far and help you become unstoppable. With that, listen in and learn. Do you ever get stuck in your initial calls with a prospective client because they have not developed a clear process for decision making? My client recently faced this challenge. Her potential client did not have a clear process for decision making for his business, which caused him confusion and led him to say he had to talk to his wife before moving forward with working with her. Now, sometimes this is true, but 9 times out of 10, this kind of comment is a cover for being uncertain about making a buying decision, specifically purchasing what you're offering. This is a painful place to be, where you want something, but you have uncertainty, so you don't make a decision. It undermines your self-confidence and self-trust. Helping your prospective client get clear about their decision-making process not only helps you with the sale, but it helps them step out of the discomfort of uncertainty and into a place of confidence. Listen in and enjoy. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Okay, tell me all the things.
I don't know what all the things are. So since we last spoke, I had a call. I had a breakthrough call, or whatever you want to call it, with one of the other men who had approached me, and it was the first time. It was very interesting. So we had a really good call. I thought I felt good about my ability that I am practicing to, get the person that I'm speaking to really uncover what's the real pain and get them connected with that. And it was a little bit of a tough nut to crack, but I got him there. So yay me. And, I made him an offer for this, 3-month career kickstart thing, and he didn't seem to balk. He's definitely interested, but then of course we get into the, wanting to discuss it with his wife, and, there's so many Achilles heels that I have, but that's one of them. I did channel you at least to remember to say, well, what are you hoping that she says? Or what do you think she'll say, or something like that. And he was like, great. And he's like, I really don't think it'll be a problem, but, I just really feel like I should, and this and that. And I stumbled because I didn't say, well, let's get her on the phone right now. But I did say, happy to speak with both of you, in order for her to be able to fully understand what we've talked about today, what the need is, and how I can help you. She really ought to hear the whole thing. And then it was like we're going to be away for the next 2 weeks. So long story short, he's claiming he's coming back to me, but I'm assuming that it's not going to happen.
So the question that you need to ask, and there's a way to ask it before and after. So the after question is there anything that she would say that would stop you from moving forward? Is your commitment strong enough to this process that you will be the one convincing her versus her convincing you or giving you permission? Where are you at in that conversation? Because oftentimes, and now you're speaking to the person, but I'm also speaking to you, Courtney, and you know this, we've talked about this before, when someone says, I need to speak to so-and-so, whether it's a partner in their business or a life partner, a spouse, it is, I don't trust myself to make this decision. So you need to get them to see that. Is this a question of you being convinced that this will help you? Are you looking to her to support you so that you don't feel like you're making a mistake? I would be super, super direct about that. And then the question at the get-go, in the beginning, in the discovery phase of the conversation, looks more like, you know, what is your decision-making process? How do you usually go about decision-making? Do you defer to others, or do you make your own decisions? How quickly do you find that you make decisions? When you know that something's right for you, how do you make decisions, right? I would get them to share with you in advance what their process is so that at least you're clear about the process. Some people say, I think about it for 5 days, 2 weeks, ruminate. They're probably not your person. And at that point, you have to ask them, has that served you well, or have you lost momentum with that kind of decision making? Because for some people, it serves them well. It's their personality, okay? But then later, you know if they're using it as a smokescreen or the truth.
Totally. So I love it. These are great. I'm trying to write them down very quickly to capture.
The other thing you want to ask, which I can't remember if I just said or not, so I apologize if this is a repeat, but I think I didn't frame it in the exact same way. In terms of investing in yourself and your business, you know, for me, clients are investing in themselves and their business. So for you, it would be investing in yourself and your career. Are you the sole decision maker on that, or is there someone else involved that you need to turn to? Oftentimes people need to talk to their partner or spouse about investing in their careers. And I like to know that up front because I can help you figure out how to have that conversation if this is the right thing for you. How does your family go about making investments, right? Is this something that you can make a decision on your own about? Or is this something that you're going to have to run past your partner? People have different decision-making protocols, right?
Right. Now, so I love it. One question that comes to mind is, so you have this upfront conversation. I mean, there's any number of things that can be said, but let's just say that, you know, my thing is people are always like, oh, you know, I can make the decision. And then later when the investment amount is discussed, you know, then their response is, oh, well that, you know, because I didn't think this was going to be that level of investment, you know, that's an investment that's, you know, higher than whatever. But I guess your point is, well, they might have told you in their process, like, you know, we're kind of free to make decisions, you know, under $2,000 of spend or something like that. Right. Because that's where, I mean, I always get stuck. I have at times gotten stuck, and it's the same dynamic of me over-identifying with what the person is flagging as, oh, that seems legitimate. Even though at the same time I know it's a way that people defer, stall because they're really not sure.
It takes practice, and you have to figure out what the questions are at the beginning to set this up. And how do you help change their beliefs earlier on in the conversation? Because one, that's super duper of service. Okay, it will serve them whether they sign up to work with you or not. So again, sales is service. So I'm always looking for how to add value in every conversation. And if you can help them change their beliefs about decision making, what it means to invest in themselves, all of that early on in the conversation, they will want to be in alignment with that, especially if you ask kind of temperature check-in questions along the way. So that would look something like a series of questions around investing, okay? Like, what is the highest level of investment that you've made in your career to date? How has that served you? Has that gotten you the results that you want? What, like when I did X, Y, and Z, right? Use your own story.
Right.
I did this to this in my career. Because with your coaching with me, you went from, what was it? Like when we first started, you had 10 reports and you were terrified.
No, not even.
Given them?
It was like 2.
Yeah.
It was like 245 to 200.
Yeah. Okay. And your income increased, your status as a company.
I bought a house.
All that. Right. All of these things. So you
totally
go through that query. You tell the ordinary to extraordinary story. Okay.
Right.
And then you do a temperature check. Can you see how changing your belief structure about what it means to invest in yourself could have massive quantum level effects? You get a yes or a no. They're going to say yes because they see, oh my God, is that possible? Okay.
Yeah.
But then you get them to agree with it as opposed to you directing that. Correct. And one thing, the subconscious mind, even if the conscious mind agrees with the direction, like the advice, the frame, the perspective, the way forward, you can consciously agree with it. But the subconscious mind, if the person has not articulated for themselves that they agree with it, will not accept it.
Yeah. No, I see that for sure. So getting back to the flow of the conversation, and I completely understand and agree with needing to have this discussion around, what's your process for decision making and, history of making investments in yourself and all the rest of it early enough in the conversation. And yet I'm saying to myself, okay, so where do I, in the flow, inject this up front? If I'm starting and going down a path of inquiry in the discovery process, maybe it's toward the end of that, I guess, but it's still obviously before I go into, here's how I can help you.
Here's what I would do. You're either asking them first, what do you want? And then going deep into that, or what's stopping you and going deep into that. In the area where they start telling you about what's stopping them, what have you done to solve that? Right? That's part of the discovery process. What have you done to solve that already? How has that helped? How much have you invested in yourself to solve that problem? Right? And boom, you're right in there.
Okay. I will let you go.
Talk to you
Thank
soon.
you.
Okay. You're welcome.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us for Coaching Uncut. If you loved what you learned today, please leave us a comment and let us know. We always love a thumbs up or a 5-star review, so thank you in advance for that. And if you want to take your life and your business to the next level and it's time to scale, please reach out to us and schedule a consult at theunstoppablewoman.com/next level. So that's theunstoppablewoman.com/next level. See you in the next episode. Rock it out and be unstoppable.